What's going on, guys? It's your boy Scrub here, back again with another video. Hope you guys are having a great day. I know I am. And today I've got a story time for you guys that was told to me by my roommate, actually, Big Bake. He told me this story about how one time all of his Pokemon cards got stolen by this goth kid named Trevor, and how his mom came to the school and like had to get his Pokemon cards back, and it was the most embarrassing thing ever. Regardless, it should be pretty funny. Before we get into it, be sure to press the like button or your Pokemon the cards will get stolen, and without further ado, let's get into it. You would think that it's illegal. I'm getting quiet now. Laying low when you're rich, so I'm piping down. Making out, stack the bread, cause you love the sound. Just someone. Alright guys, so I'm gonna be honest, I thought taking your Pokemon cards to school when you weren't supposed to was a uniquely me idiotic thing to do, but I guess it was a phenomenon that really swept the nation because my friend Big Bake apparently at one point had a very, very cool Pokemon collection, and he decided that he was gonna take his favorite cards to school to show everybody. Now, this is usually a bad idea just because other kids at school tend to not like value your things as much as you, and also kids are always trying to steal your stuff, bro. Like, it's just consistent. Anytime you take something cool to school, someone's gonna try to take it. I don't know what it is, man. I don't know if like kids go to school and just the brain turns off, but it's something, man. Real talk though, he takes his Pokemon cards to school, and there was a group of kids that would always play Pokemon cards, and the leader of this little group of Pokemon card kids at recess was led by this goth dude named Tanner. Now, this is only like 4th grade, but somehow Tanner had already decided that, you know, life wasn't for him. Being emo was just key, dude. Wearing eyeliner and talking about how much he hates his parents was chic even before he hit puberty. All jokes aside, it doesn't really matter, but, you know, Tanner was known for hating life and, like, taking his hatred out in life out on everybody else. And my roommate Bake had never really played Pokemon with these kids before, so when he tried to join, Tanner decided to press him and be like, oh yeah, what do you know about Pokemon? And obviously, anybody who, like, has a decent Pokemon card collection can answer a couple of basic questions, and Tanner had like tried to make Zach look stupid in front of all these people. Zach's my roommate, by the way. I'm just gonna call him Zach for the rest of the story because my roommate, it doesn't sound the same. So he had tried to make Zach look stupid by like asking him these very simple Pokemon questions. Basically like, oh, do Pokemon evolve? Like stuff that anyone with a brain who's played Pokemon would be able to say yes to. But he had done it in a way to like, you know, make him look cool to the rest of the group by making this poser look dumb. So he's asking these questions with like his arms all crossed and whatnot, and obviously he answers them correctly, and everyone in the group is like, yeah, it's cool, you can play, I don't care, because, you know, most of the normal people don't really care who's playing Pokemon as long as they're playing it. Especially when you're a kid, it just doesn't matter. So reluctantly, this Tanner kid is like, fine, I guess you can play with us. So they start playing Pokemon, and Zach ends up doing decently well. He wins a couple matches and he loses one, and they had spent like all lunch playing this little tournament format, and his last game happened to be against Tanner. And Tanner, before they started playing, was like, if I beat you, then I get to take all your cards. And Zach was like, no, that's not gonna happen. And then Tanner started egging him on, being like, bonk, bonk, bonk. And Zach's like, no, dude, you're not gonna keep my cards. It's just not gonna happen. And Tanner is like, fine. But, you know, you'll never know what can happen when you turn around, like all ominously, which ends up biting him in the butt later, but we'll get to it. Anyways, they play, and Tanner loses, like legitimately loses, but does that thing that all little kids do when they're losing in a game where they start like changing the rules and making up stuff. He says that one of the cards that Zach is using, like, oh, it has been banned from regulation and it's not allowed anymore. And this is in the ages of like no smartphone in your pocket where you could just Google this information, and because this guy was kind of in charge of the Pokemon group, they were like, oh, I don't know, dude, if your card's out of regulation, you can't use it. Like, just that type of stuff. He still lost either way, but he just started changing all these rules, and finally, after getting his butt kicked, was like, oh, well, yeah, I lost, but you cheated so much that it doesn't matter. Like, okay, you beat me, but how many times did I have to point out you cheated, so it doesn't count? And every time you would point out that Zach was cheating, he wasn't. Like, it was just one of those classic cases of a spoiled kid who just thinks he's the best at everything and can't fathom the idea that he would ever have the possibility of losing. So after he wins against Zach for cheating and whatnot, he decides that he's gonna try to take his Pokemon cards. So he says that since he cheated, he gets his Pokemon cards. That's the deal now. And Zach obviously is like, whoa, no, dude, you don't get to take my Pokemon cards. You're just claiming that I cheated even though that I didn't. You're making up all these new rules. You're saying all this stuff happened when it didn't. No, you don't get to take my Pokemon cards. And the Tanner kid is like, oh, I'm taking them, bro. I'm taking them. And he puts his hand on the card. And at that point, Zach gets up and he goes, fine, you can take my cards. But if you do, I'm going to the teacher and telling her about all of this, bro. You're not going to take my cards. You didn't beat me fair and square, and I never agreed to that. And the Tanner kid is like, oh my God, you would really tell? Like, oh, are you serious, dude? And listen, I know a lot of you guys are probably in the comment section like, oh, that wasn't cool. But imagine this guy is trying to take your stuff by lying. Like, imagine some guy asked you to play a game of Call of Duty, right? And you kicked his butt, and then he was like, okay, well, you weren't using snipers, so it doesn't count. And you're like, all right. So then you beat him with snipers, and then he's like, all right, that's cool, but I'm still gonna take your house because that was the deal. No, that's not how this works, dude. So I'm gonna be honest with you. At that point, when someone's just trying to basically steal from you, sometimes you gotta threaten to snitch. Whether or not you do it is totally up to your discretion. But he threatens to snitch, and Tanner finally backs down because all the other Pokemon card kids are kind of like, all right, dude, you know, like, haha, you've had your fun, but he didn't really agree to beat you or like agree to give you his cards, and you are changing all the rules, so maybe you should just let him keep them. And as soon as he like loses the support of the group, he kind of backs down. And the rest of the school day is going pretty fine, but at one point Zach has to leave the classroom for a bit to go to this like different area of the school to do a test thing, and he had left his Pokemon cards in his backpack, as you do, because when you're going to take a test, you know, you don't need your Pokemon cards with you. I don't know what the answer is. What do you think, Pikachu? Like, I hope you're not talking to yourself saying that stuff during standardized testing, bro, because everyone's gonna definitely think that you have imaginary friends that you think are real. Regardless, he's taking the test and he comes back and, wouldn't you know it, dude, his Pokemon cards are no longer in his backpack. And what's even stranger is at like their afternoon recess that day, the Pokemon stuff had gone down at like the lunch recess thing. Tanner just so happens to have found a weird amount of cards that he had earlier, you know? I guess specifically the card that Zach realized he had taken is he had an Empoleon EX, and it was like a specific holographic card, and he had scratched the back of it so the holographic stuff came through, like it was kind of there was a scratch on the card that kind of struck the holographic thing, right? So you could see it on the backside. I actually know that's a thing. This is gonna be so nerdy, dude. When I was a kid, I competed in a Pokemon card tournament, and they make you use card sleeves on your cards so that way people don't mark them like that, because there's ways to do it. And sure enough, oh my gosh, the card that Tanner found just so happens to have the exact same mark as the card that went missing. And keep in mind, Zach really can't go to the teachers because they weren't supposed to have Pokemon cards in the first place. So it's not like he can walk up to a teacher and go, hey, by the way, this kid took my Pokemon cards. So he's like, dude, give me back my card. And the kid's just denying ever taking it in the first place. All right, guys, I'm going to interrupt the video for just 1 second. On screen now is actually a gift card. I give one of these away every single day as a way to say thank you to everyone subscribed with notifications on. So if you haven't already, go ahead and hit those 2 buttons. I literally give away free money, and you can always unsub so you got nothing to lose. And yeah, if you already are subscribed with notifications on, huge thank you. You help out the channel an absolute butt ton. And on that note, I will shut up so you guys can get back to the video. Thank you very much. Finally, the Tanner kid breaks it. He's like, yeah, if I did take your card, what are you gonna do about it? And Zach goes, I'm gonna hit you. And the Tanner kid goes, no, you're not. And as soon as he says that, Zach, who, for those of you who don't know what he looks like, he's been on my Instagram a couple times, @Scrubby, by the way, always plug, drop me a follow, I'm close to 200K. Anyways, he's a big dude, and he reached back and just slapped Tanner, like slapped him, open palm slapped him, and apparently it like clapped. Everybody was just like, oh God. So at that point, Tanner looks at Zach and goes, did you just hit me? And Zach's like, yeah, and I'm gonna hit you again if you don't give me back the card. So he reaches back his hand again and looks like he's gonna hit him again. And the Tanner kid is like, whoa, dude, just take your card, just take your card. Like, as soon as Zach was willing to just ready and on him, you know, smack him around. Now, all of a sudden, the cards that he never took were like, oh yeah, here you go. It really be like that sometimes, dude. Here's what I don't understand. People like this, like, Listen, if you're not willing to get hit, don't steal people's stuff and then look at them and say, what are you gonna do about it? Because you're literally begging to get hit at that point. Am I wrong? Like, am I just an idiot for thinking if you steal somebody's stuff and say that, you're asking to get punched in the face? The only thing that makes this story suck is, like, obviously justice is justice, and the fact that the kid gave the cards back is cool, but after that, Tanner basically, like, blacklisted, same thing, Zach from ever being allowed to, like, play Pokemon in that group again, and it was the only group of kids in the school who were really into Pokemon. So, like, basically, because this kid had tried to steal someone's Pokemon cards and had gotten caught, he prevented Zach from ever being able to, like, play Pokemon in the group again, which is cold, dog. You stole from him. Why are you upset that you got caught stealing? Yeah, the slap was uncalled for, but you basically dared him to do it, dude. People like that definitely gotta learn their lesson. Never steal something that doesn't belong to you, bruh. How you gonna be in 4th grade and emo? Anyways, guys, I think that's gonna do it for the video. Hopefully you enjoyed. If you did, I would really appreciate you taking a second to press the like button. Let me know in the comments section down below what you thought of the video. Subscribe if you're new, turn on those notifications. If you want more content, I do have a podcast called the SKUFFED Cast. Link can be found down below, along with the link to the intro song. If you want to give that a listen, feel free to. It would help me out. And yeah, other than that, if you're in the mood for merch, the Teespring store, also found in the description down below, has many options. And on that note, guys, thank you all so much for watching. Don't get anyone pregnant. If you do, make sure they're hot, and hopefully I'll see you guys next time. I'm out. Peace.